I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host of the most, as always, Cam G. The man to the left of me is Phil Khan.
Yeah, it's different this time. There you
go. To the right of me now
is Phil Khan.
And of course, the man at the bottom of your screen is my co-host and producer at this time, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, we have a lot to go over with Dynamite, this being the go home episode for Forbidden Door, and of course our Forbidden Door predictions, as Forbidden Door is this Sunday evening. So, gentlemen, as always, how is your Wednesday evening going? Yeah, afternoon, evening, whatever. Yeah,
it is what it is. It's raining here.
Shows on one night again.
It's raining here right now. It was raining all day. I got drenched today. Like all summer, it didn't rain while I was at work. And then today it decides, hey, guess what, Mike? It's going to rain. Plus it felt like 65 degrees out. I'm like, it's not October yet. And I drove past a Spirit Halloween. I'm going to say that one more time. I drove past a Spirit Halloween store today while I was working.
It's the middle of August.
In the middle of August. Look, I went into a dollar store yesterday, and they had Halloween stuff up. I'm like, summer's not even over yet. Why are we doing this? Like, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong. Halloween is like my favorite. I love summertime. Summertime's my favorite time of the year, but Halloween is like my favorite time of the year. Point A. Like there's that one and then the 1A. It's like the 1A because spooky season is awesome. But I don't need to be seeing Halloween stuff right now. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
So today was all right though.
Yeah. Phil,
all right day. It was raining here too all day, so not much to realistically do. Picked up my check from work, but other than that, just a boring day, and you gotta just do what you gotta do. So, yeah, want to watch wrestling? We're here to talk Dynamite. We're here to talk Forbidden Door. WrestlePalooza's here now. That's a whole other different thing. But yeah, there you go. Just a normal Wednesday.
It's just Wednesday.
Just Wednesday, indeed. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Just Wednesday.
I mean,
did Cam? How was your day? Did you have any highlight of the day?
No, I had a very chill. I had a very chill day.
I kind of feel bad to the fact like we don't ask you that on Wednesday nights, and it's like maybe we should ask Cam. Let's ask Cam. Cam, how was your Wednesday?
Nah, it was a chill day. Nothing out of the ordinary, and nothing that really caught me off guard at work, which is great. It didn't rain here, but it was like cloudy all day. But it was a cool like 76, 74
Oh
degrees.
Wow, great for you. Didn't rain.
Yeah, it was a chill day. It was a good like nap weather. You know what I mean? So
I wanted to call off of work today, and I literally called my dispatcher this morning. I was like, "Do you need me today?" And she was like, "I might just come here just in case." And by the time I got there, 3 other drivers called off, and I'm like, "Fuck." I just did not want to be at work today. I didn't.
That's fair.
It's very understandable. but
AEW
no,
tonight.
I had a chill day. So AEW tonight.
AEW
Yeah.
tonight.
I didn't. I mean, I don't know. This was a middle of
It is
ground,
what it is.
middle of the ground kind of show. Better than last week, I would say, which is not saying a whole lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not. I don't. I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues with this show. It was an okay show, honestly.
Can I ask a question? What? And Cam, we had this problem Monday night. Monday night was just a crap show. Monday night was terrible. I mean, even us going 60 minutes on the table spot Monday night was not the easiest thing. Is that a fair thing to say? Like, it was not easy talking about Monday Night Raw.
No, not at all.
I'm surprised you got to an hour.
We made it through 60 minutes. We did. But the last like 10 minutes was the Chris Jericho talk about him possibly going back to WWE.
Yeah.
So 50 minutes, give or take, about Monday Night Raw, right? And I had texted Cam today, and I said to Cam, I said, look, I just looked at the lineup for Dynamite tonight, and the only thing I'm really excited about is the Mercedes tag match. Like, I was like semi-excited for that. Other than that, I looked at this line, but I was like, this is a go-home show. And I'm never excited for go-home shows. Never excited for a go-home show. I've never been. In all my years of watching professional wrestling, I've never been excited for go-home shows. And I got an hour and 10 minutes into this one tonight, and I was like, man, like, there's other things that I can do while I have this on. And I did those other things.
I feel like,
Because it's just a go-home show.
yeah. I feel like no wrestling show in terms of WWE, AEW, Impact, I realistically don't know and really can't speak on because I don't have the channels in order to like watch Impact every week or anything like that. But in terms of WWE and AEW, they don't know how to do the go home show. Like, it's the final show before your WWE PLE or pay-per-view, and you're supposed to get people excited to see what's going on the pay-per-view so that they can get more buys or get more streams.
And
they don't do that.
And that was
at
going to be
all.
my question is these past couple weeks, not only AEW, but WWE has just been like, you know,
they're just coasting right now.
There have been
go through the motions.
Good things on. There's been some good things on each show.
Yeah,
that's been happening. But I don't know about you guys, but I've just been feeling like I wouldn't even say they've been coasting by. I just feel like that they're
not even trying.
I wouldn't say they're not I wouldn't say it doesn't feel like they're not trying, but I just feel like I'm watching a bona fide house show, like a glorified house show. Like I feel like, you know, they're putting a house show or a live event on television for us to watch right now. That's how I feel right now. And I just wanted to ask you guys this, like, how is wrestling today making you feel as a fan? Because again, these shows these past couple weeks have just been feeling like glorified house shows to me.
I feel like the house show point towards SmackDown mostly.
Okay.
SmackDown is just a chore to watch every single Friday.
Even with them going back to 2 hours?
Even with them going back to 2 hours, man. It's just it does not gravitate towards me in any single way possible. They took away Look, I'm a Cody guy. You guys know this, but like, they took away Cody when it came down to the attack from Drew McIntyre. Obviously, he's doing other stuff when it comes down to Street Fighter and he's filming and all that stuff. So obviously, that's why they did it. But there's no real story to sink my teeth into when it comes down to Friday Night SmackDown, or at least anything big. The MFT guys, they're boring as hell. Probably one of the most boring things on Friday Night SmackDown, to say the very least. There's just nothing to gravitate me towards towards Friday Night SmackDown. Monday Night Raw, you got some good things going on in there from time to time, but other than that, it's just 2.5 hours that I gotta watch to either make content, because I do this not for a living, but it's close, and just go through the motions of watching professional wrestling. Dynamite, it's mostly a miss at times, but You'll watch it for a Wednesday. You go through the motions of that, and you just go through your days. So it's hard. It's hard right now being a professional wrestling fan, especially when it comes down to what we got announced earlier on in the day today with WWE and other announcements that are going to be taking place for WWE programming. You're going to have to pay over $1,000 a month at this point just to watch WWE programming. I mean, it's insane. So there's a lot going on in pro wrestling today. I will say that, but might not always be a good thing.
I'm waiting on Cam's answer. I
was waiting to be called on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to call on you. I just generalization of how everything's making you feel right now. I mean, it's because, like I said, it just feels like glorified house shows right now. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, no, I agree with Phil. He said the key term here, and that's going through the motions. I can pretty much generalize that for the year of 2025 this far. I'm just kind of going through the motions with professional wrestling, with AEW, with WWE. Again, TNA. I semi keep up with TNA. I do have TNA Plus, and I am able to watch TNA on Thursdays. Having the channel and whatnot have you. But I just don't keep up with it. Again, like I said, that's keeping up with yet another professional wrestling company taking up another 10-20% of my time when I could be using that time to do anything else that I'm into. I don't want wrestling to take up 95% of my time. No thanks. It's just too much. I love professional wrestling as much as the next professional wrestling fan, but I don't love it so much to where I'm watching 5 and 6 different companies, including the indies, Monday through Sunday. No, I just can't do it. I'll wear myself out. But like I said, so just with WWE and AEW, so I'm just going through the motions. I don't feel anything this year. It's I'm very numb.
It's a weird year.
I'm numb to it. Like, it's numb to me.
Professional wrestling in 2025 to me has been rough as a whole. I think the most exciting things going on right now is in the indies. You got Shotzi going crazy right now. You got Priscilla Kelly, formerly known as Gigi Dolan, going crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the exciting stuff I think is happening right now. But in terms of these AEW,
Cross and his stuff that's going on. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going.
And he's starting to make his post WWE appearances and things like that. And I think he's going to have an amazing latter half of 2025. So I'm excited to see that stuff happen really. And like I said, and even with TNA, like I said, they're working with Fourth Rope, and so they still got the partnership with WWE. So they've got a lot of good things going on right now. So like I said, with WWE and AEW, there's just not a lot of exciting things going on right now. I expect that to change. I expect that to pick up once WWE really gets over this hump. WrestlePalooza and Flash and all these other throwaway events or whatever.
Like, it's not like they can't turn things around. It's the WWE. They can always try to turn things around, but you gotta put some effort at times, and sadly, and that's just at the end of the day, what's the point?
The big reason why I wanted to ask you guys this, and I could have asked you guys this off air, and we could have taken more of an extensive time. I didn't want to take up too much time asking you guys this question. I was just kind of curious on how you guys felt, because you guys know I listen to a lot of wrestling content when it comes to podcasts and all that stuff, radio shows. I listen to a lot. Between pro wrestling and football, I'm surprised I listen to as much as I do throughout the day. And the one podcast that I keep an eye on, kind of pay attention to, but don't fully pay attention to, they had made the announcement that they talk about so much pro wrestling that they have to drop some content that they're going to talk about, and the one that they're dropping is WWE, and I'm like, out of all the companies that you're talking about, you're going to drop WWE. And it didn't make sense to me at first when I heard them say this. But then at the same time, I was like, hold on, this kind of makes sense, because there are so many, WWE based podcasts out there.
Yeah.
To the point where, okay, they're kind of separating themselves from the pack and going to talk about the stuff that not a lot of people are talking about. That's where I really had to sit back and think, like, why are they doing this? Why are they making such a drastic decision then it made sense to me when I really sat back and thought about it. Like I'll say this, we are one of the very few, Cam, the Boom is like a very few far and beyond AEW podcasts out there. There are not a lot of AEW based podcasts out there. There is not.
Yeah.
So the Boom is like one of the exclusive AEW podcasts out there, you know, but like the Table Spot Monday night, you know, we're Monday Night Raw based. There's millions of fucking WWE podcasts out there. So it's like, damn. So I'm sorry for taking up so much time on asking this question. I apologize. I just needed to ask you guys. And
No,
AEW
no,
Dynamite.
It's a weird question to ask.
Yeah, it's a great question to ask. But no, my final thoughts on that is just like I said, you know, I do expect WWE to pick things back up, you know, once they get
Same.
you know, over this hump of, you know, these throwaway pay-per-views like coming up with the next two pay-per-views, and they get into Survivor Series, War Games, and things like that.
Yeah.
I expect things to pick up, but right now, like I said, they're just kind of, you know, just kind of chugging along, trying to get through over the hump, I guess. And you know, I guess I would expect the same thing from AEW. You know, I'm hoping that they put forth their best effort and their best storytelling and best, you know, match feuds and whatnot have you, going into like, you know, Full Gear, All Out, such things like that. So we'll see. I don't know, but we'll definitely see. But tonight, AEW Dynamite, of course, was the Forbidden Door Go Home show. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot to be, you know, overly critical or upset about necessarily. Was it a great show? No, not really, but it was a show. You know, I mean, like I said, a lot of what they did here, I think, was kind of simple mathematics. You know, especially with like the main event. Like the main event made, I was just, you know, surprised that was gonna be the main event because it didn't feel like the main event. But it made sense. Simple mathematics. Obviously, these four ladies are going to have their respective championship matches at Forbidden Door, so that makes sense. But we open the show with the surprise entrance of one Bryan Danielson. He is a special guest analyst on the commentary table this evening. So that was a great reaction for the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and a great way to open up Dynamite tonight. We see the arrival of Will Ospreay. He makes an announcement that he wasn't cleared for Forbidden Door, which, if you ask me, makes absolutely no sense because the last 2 weeks or so, he has been pretty much the captain, the one that has been captain and matchmaker. He's played Will Ospreay and a bit of Tony Khan to kind of make this match, this whole lights out steel cage multi-man match. That I'm still curious to see how that's going to work out at Forbidden Door. And we all thought he was cleared. And tonight he made the announcement.
I think it makes total sense because he should never have been cleared.
I mean, probably not. But for me, it was just a head scratcher because it was like, why go through all of this trouble to make, you know, create teams and all this, and you're not even cleared. So I don't know. It was weird to me. But of course, then Jon Moxley, of course, comes out, and some words were, I skimmed through that. I didn't care. But Moxley comes out. Some words were said from Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. And then, of course, we see the arrival of Jet Speed. They brawl with Death Riders. And then, of course, we see Tanahashi come out, make his way to the ring, which starts our first match of the night, which Jet Speed, Tanahashi versus the Death Riders. Again, the match was the match, I guess. Funny part of the match, though, where Marina Shafir gets ejected from the particular match, and then Will Ospreay is just behind her on the entrance ramp, like, hello. And then he just throws her over his shoulder and just takes off running up the entrance ramp. I thought that was hilarious. And then, of course, of course, the baby faces win. Tanahashi hits a very awkward looking frog splash. But that's Tanahashi for you. And then, of course, the post-match 7-on-3 beatdown. Ospreay distracts the Death Riders with someone in the body bag, the infamous body bag that Darby Allin has brought back from storage or wherever he's kept that thing for the last couple of years. And then, of course, all hell. I didn't even follow all of this because all hell breaks loose. You have the conglomeration come out there, and they start brawling with the Death Riders, and then you have the Ops come out there. It was just all hell breaks loose. I don't know what any of this has to do with the steel cage match. Forbidden Door, but
songs are here now. Like whoever
I didn't follow any of that. It just made no sense.
I've seen most of them. So, yeah.
But I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this particular match, and of course the post-match chaos that happened after the match. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
I mean, the match was fine for what it was, right? I mean, you got to see a little bit of Tanahashi. I believe it's Tanahashi that is retiring at the end of the year too. I mean, I believe that is him.
Yeah,
that is retiring. Yeah. So seeing Tanahashi, you know, for one of the final times that we are going to be probably seeing him in AEW is going to be cool. But yeah, it was fine for what it was. The whole chaos afterwards, I mean, I expect that almost every single time when it comes down to anything Death Riders related. But yeah, the whole thing with Will Ospreay, because the Will Ospreay situation is just odd. Because with everything, Will Ospreay says that he's not cleared. And he's taking life into his own hands. He's taking AEW into his own hands. And he's saying at the end of the day, this is all on me. This is not on AEW. I'm just doing this for the sake of revenge. And I'm like, on one hand, I respect the hell out of you because you're awesome and you want to do this for AEW. But on the other hand, it's just incredibly stupid. And, they just completely do things like this for no reason. He should have never been cleared. And if you wanted to do something with the Death Riders and some sort of like huge stipulation like this, you didn't have to have Will in this. So, yeah, I think it's incredibly stupid if it is like legitimately true, and honestly careless by AEW if it is true as well. So,
Yes.
it's just giving AEW more of a bad rep if this is true. And hopefully Will Ospreay comes out of this unscathed, because if not, he'll have to go through neck surgery, and we could be seeing Will Ospreay out of professional wrestling sooner than probably what he would have wanted, or any Will Ospreay fan would have wanted as well. It's just strange.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, if they definitely let him, this goes back to what I was saying before when they had Kota Ibushi come back, and the dude's taking, freaking what is like spine busters and suplexes, and he's been gone, and he's dealt with these career threatening injuries. And it's like, why are we doing these kinds of spots on a guy that has had neck injuries and neck issues his career, and he just came back from these multiple surgeries to repair all these injuries and things like that? We don't need to do those things, even if it is a sign of them going, oh yeah, I'm just going out there doing these moves to make sure the fans know that I'm good. It's reckless. And somebody, if Tony Khan's not going to do it, somebody needs to be back there to go, no. Like, they need to have somebody tell them no every once in a while, because we care about the safety of our talent that is part of this company. Because again, I keep saying this, and this just, I don't see it happening with WWE, because I think they take the necessary precautions to prevent this from happening. But with AEW, again, I stress this so much. I don't want to see someone take a move wrong and just not be able to move after that. We don't need another Chris Bay situation. Okay, one
is
I'm
enough. Caring more about Will Ospreay's health than them at this point.
Right. This goes
and that's
beyond,
not even a parasocial thing. It's just
right. This goes beyond professional wrestling. This is just this is the well-being of a human being. Okay, like we don't need that. So I don't know. It's very reckless and just, I don't know. It's just lawlessness in AEW. Like nobody is pulling the strings here. It's just the inmates are just running the asylum, and that has been the biggest issue with me with AEW for a while. This is not.
That's been what AEW's kind of been almost predicated on since it started. With people having creative control or anything like that, or wanting to do it for their own good. I don't know, man.
Mike, your thoughts on this match?
My biggest thought is, why are the Death Riders still around? Why is Jon Moxley still on TV after losing the world title? That's my biggest concern and question. I mean, you have these guys coming out and losing pretty much every week now in these multi-man matches. Jon Moxley and the Death Riders should have been off TV the moment that Jon Moxley lost the world title. Should have been off TV for a while, but they're not. They're continuously on TV. They're continuously doing what they're doing, attacking people and everything like that. And now it's leading into this Forbidden Door match. The Will Ospreay thing, you're trying to make an injury believable, and I get that, but it's very far from being believable when you're going to have him involved in a match. I guess the whole lights out thing is covering the bases. But at the same time, let's just put it this way. If Will Ospreay is truly injured, if he truly has neck issues going on, then he knows that his career is not worth putting in jeopardy of going out there and performing. And that's bottom line. It's not worth putting in jeopardy and going out and doing a match like this. Oh, it's lights out. So guess what, guys? I'm going to be able to go out and perform. Why? Because it's unsanctioned. So I can go out there and hurt my fucking neck if I want to. Like, come on now. If the Death Riders team loses this match at Forbidden Door, then they need to be off TV for everything to make sense. Because so far, them being on TV still doesn't make sense.
If they lose this match, the Death Riders should just be done. Period.
I wouldn't necessarily say
I'm
be
done with them.
I wouldn't necessarily say be done, but we don't need to see that. We don't at least don't need to see Moxley for a little bit. Like Claudio and Yuta and Marina, yeah, we could see them to kind of keep the ship from fully sinking, so we don't forget about them. Because I feel like I'm starting to feel like this Death Riders thing is meaning something, and they're just having trouble getting to where the meaning is first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a meaning behind this group being around and doing what they're doing. It's just they're having a tough time getting to that point.
I'm just tapped out. That's why I want.
I mean, everybody and everybody is, and I see it and I hear it. Everybody is. It's just that it's almost like the Bloodline comparison. The Bloodline storyline is far from done, as we keep hearing. Okay, well, what's the fucking end game? Because you're not even giving us anything remotely close to involvement of the Bloodline.
Yeah, no, that's never going to be done.
Then get to your point with this Death Rider stuff, so we know why they're still around on TV. Because right now they should not be there. This match tonight, I was not interested at all. I can care less about the because I knew the babyface team was going to win. I did, because you had the Death Riders losing the past couple weeks. Ever since Moxley lost the title, they lost steam. So
well, the Bloodline thing, to me, the Bloodline thing is over, because it's not going to be what it was at its height. Now it's just their cash cow. That's it. It's just their cash cow. They know that was the best storyline that they've had in who knows how long.
God knows how long, yeah.
So it's just their cash cow now. They're desperately keeping it on life support.
Yeah,
in my eyes, it's done. There's nothing left for you to do.
Well, they're going to go back to it.
It's somebody had made a point, and it was like, I wanted to disagree with it, but it's basically turned into the NWO thing on the latter half of the NWO, when they started doing NWO Elite and NWO B and A and C. That's basically what it is now. You're never going to, I don't think you're going to see the original Bloodline back together, and them, they're not going to be able to gather that same kind of hype they had when they first did it. I don't think so. What you're going to see now, and for however long they want to keep this alive, or keep this on life support, you're going to see just variants of it. Solo's group, and then Jake's going to get a group, and then Jay's going to get a group. That's what you're going to see. It's their cash cow. So
I just think with the Death Riders, Moxley is the main character. He is the main one that needs to go away for a while. They could have kept Yuta and Claudio going and doing stuff to keep the Death Rider name going. Moxley is the key focus. Why is he still, like, after he lost at All In, he should have been gone. He shouldn't have not even gotten his rematch against Hangman a week later. That should have waited.
And
that should have waited till probably World's End.
Over to their meaning. I feel like their meaning for this group, I think, is gone. Once the world title was taken from Moxley, it's gone. Their whole point was to obviously basically hold the world title hostage, put it in a briefcase, in this whole takeover, which never happened, of AEW. We never got like a Death Riders pay-per-view where it was like, remember I don't know if y'all remember this, but like when DX was at like their height, like
DX had their own in your house, NWO had their own pay-per-view.
They could have did something like that. NWO did the same thing.
Yeah,
they could have did something like that.
I mean,
they never did anything like that.
The thing is the NWO had so many members, they had matches against each other for their pay-per-view.
That's fair.
The DX pay-per-view was more so like the main event was Shawn Michaels defending the WWF Championship. You know, that's why it was mainly a DX pay-per-view.
That's fair. But you get what I'm saying. Though.
You could have had a Death Riders.
Yeah.
You could have had a Death Riders pay-per-view to where, you know, Moxley is defending the world title in like a major matchup to where he just completely fucking dominates.
Yeah.
Like a gauntlet championship. Like that's something we've never seen as a gauntlet world title match, to where like you have 5 or 6 guys in a gauntlet match for the world title. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Have Claudio and Wheeler go after the tag titles. That's their other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you go through the
They're-
entire AEW Dynamite's filled with Death Rider stuff anyway. Whenever they had like 15 segments of Death Rider stuff, you could have done that with the show.
So there was never any takeover. It never happened. So I think their whole purpose is kind of just gone. Now they're just, again, much like what me and Phil were saying about professional wrestling in 2025, going through the motions right now. That's all they're really doing right now. They're not doing anything special. I would take this entire group and they all could just take a hiatus for 2-3 months. No one's gonna miss them, and they can come back and start something fresh.
You
I
can do
don't know.
so
Yeah.
much more with Claudio
just think-
Castagnoli as a singles guy.
I just think the main character, John Moxley, if they lose this cage match on Sunday, needs to go away at least. At least him needs to go away and
We'll see.
take some time away.
I
At
don't know.
some point, the Death Riders need to be disbanded. It's gonna
agree.
It's gonna have to happen at some point. Something's got to give to where one match is going to be for the legitimacy and for like the actual death of the Death Riders.
Yeah.
I
If they
feel
would
like
have,
that's
if
gotta
they would have
happen.
went that direction tonight, would have been the perfect time to start that. You know why? One key thing. There's one key thing that could have started that tonight. Bryan Danielson.
Brian, yeah.
He could have been at ringside while he was sitting there talking to Claudio why Claudio was not in the ring, talking to Wheeler why he wasn't in the ring, like saying like, guys, you're much better than this, you know, get out of this group, go do bigger things, you know. Claudio, you're a world champion. You should have been a world champion, not just the Ring of Honor world champion. Like, you should have been winning world titles a long time ago. Why are you, you know, jumping on the coattails of John Moxley while he's winning world titles? Go win a fucking world championship yourself. Like, stuff like that could have been started. They missed that opportunity. Now, if you have Brian at ringside doing commentary like they did tonight, have him doing it on a continuous basis, then you can do it. But don't be afraid to pull the trigger on doing it, because AEW does hesitate, and they need to stop hesitating. Again, if the rumors are true that Tony Khan does not worry about other product anymore, if that rumor is true, then he needs to not be afraid to pull the trigger on things.
Don't be afraid to take risks. Do whatever you need to do in order to get your fan base excited for whatever you need to do. But
You're
you gotta-
already
gotta do it.
doing these, you know, these things to where you're in the same city for 3-4 weeks and in smaller arenas, and they're working out great.
they're
now
just
pull the
getting
trigger on
into one for
storylines.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't be afraid to take risks. And that honestly kind of goes for both companies.
That goes double for this company, though, I would say.
Yes, for sure. Double for this one. But I mean, it goes for both. You don't have to, you know, completely be vanilla all the time.
Next, we had Copeland, Adam Copeland, who comes out, and we are. I know we're in this era of, you know, singing theme songs, but at some point that gets really, really old, I think. I don't know. So it's just, after a while you keep hearing it. It's not really special anymore. So obviously they're singing, you know, Copeland's song or whatever. It's a great song, fantastic song, but to sing it every single time at every single city and country that they're in just gets repetitive after a while. But of course, then we had Christian Cage come out right after that. Probably the biggest and most positive reaction from Christian Cage for a while. We haven't heard him get a positive reaction since him being heel, which he's been heel for quite a bit. So of course they had their promo with Tony Schiavone in the ring. Obviously, Christian tries to be a heel, but Copeland obviously cuts him off and says, you know, well, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You shouldn't have to be that guy, even after everything that's happened so far. but he tells the crowd like, yeah, he's an a-hole, but sometimes you need an a-hole in this situation. Christian Cage then obviously tells Adam that they are not on the same page, but they are at least writing in the same book. I like how he put that. And then he says, he has his word, even though his word has not meant much the last few years. And of course, extends his hand for a handshake and he will be the best tag team partner that he has ever had. Of course, you see the handshake between Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Once again, like I said, for me, it's refreshing to see them back in the same ring and on the same page for the first time in God knows how long. So again, I'm excited about the reuniting of Adam Copeland and Christian Cage in AEW. So it's very exciting. Again, I did not have that on my bingo card. So I like it. They both have their own, scores to settle. Of course, Christian with the patriarchy, and of course, Edge is obviously chasing after FTR. So I like it. It's not, obviously, not the most, creative side of storytelling for AEW, but it's simple mathematics. We put Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. That's something that I think since the debut of Adam Copeland, a lot of people have been talking about and wanting. So again, it's just it makes a lot of sense. A lot of history there between those two. Of course, then you see Nick Wayne and the rest of the matriarchy, of course, hit the stage. Nick Wayne was on the Jumbotron or whatever. He is unfortunately hurt. He broke his foot, so he will be out of the Forbidden Door match. Again, Forbidden Door is just falling apart. These injuries and not being cleared, and this is crazy. And this is crunch time because this is the go-home show. So this comes at a very unfortunate time for some of these superstars who will not be able to compete at Forbidden Door. So Nick Wayne is injured. He broke his foot. But he says he's always one step ahead of Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. Then you see this vignette or whatever of these doctors, and they've got these syringes. They're like working on freaking Frankenstein, it seems like.
This is awesomely shot, by the way.
Yes,
I like
this. It was perfect. And then of course you see the iconic Luchasaurus mask and his eyes open and he sits up, and it is the return of one Luchasaurus as he comes out, storms the ring, attacks Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, chokeslams them both. And now the match is altered. It will now be Luchasaurus and Kip Sabian versus Christian Cage and Adam Copeland at Forbidden Door. So I think that spices up this match just a little bit more with the return of Luchasaurus. So yes, I like it. Great way to bring him back. It had a great reaction. So I didn't mind anything about this particular segment. Get you guys' thoughts on this. Mike, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of this particular segment?
Man, I really don't want to piss on your guys' parade. Should I go with the uberly positive side of things, or should
say how you feel, brother? Don't say how you feel.
Say how I feel. You guys are okay with this?
Yeah, just say how you feel. It won't bother me.
It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
wasn't excited for the Luchasaurus return. Not excited. That's surprising, at all.
Honestly.
Didn't fucking care for it. Awesome, he's back. Great. What are we gonna do with him?
Nothing.
Hasn't done jack shit since being in. Oh, wait, hold on. He won the tag team titles with Jungle Boy.
Who?
Jack Perry. Whoopty shit. We make a big deal about his return. Oh, he was out for months with injury and he had to get surgery.
I had no idea he was out with injury. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah, he's been out because of injury, car crashes. I mean, the guy went through the ringer over the course of the last year since we last saw him.
So wasn't excited for the Luchasaurus return. Didn't give a shit. Adam Copeland and Christian. This was the most ridiculous, dumbest freaking segment with these two in history. We don't like each other. We don't get along. Yeah, we have the same path that we want to go down. We have the same enemies. We're going to help each other take care of business. But Christian's going to be an asshole why Copeland panders to the crowd. What tag team does this remind you of? Only like 50 other tag teams in history, like the Bar, when Sheamus was the babyface and Claudio was the heel. Then both became babyfaces. And then this also told me that in the next 3 months or so, that Christian and Copeland, by the end of 2025, are going to be holding the tag team titles. That's that. The writing is on the wall. Like, that's the path that they're leading to. Why? Because they have problems not only with Kip Sabian and Nick Wade, who, with no pun intended, was one step ahead with a broken foot, mind you.
He had no leg to stand on, but
And no legs to stand on, but yet was one step ahead of Christian and Copeland, But they also have problems with FTR, who is going after tag team titles.
Yeah.
So the writing couldn't have been more on the wall of Copeland and Christian are going to be the tag team champions by the end of the year. I don't see this partnership being as exciting with how Christian is being. He's a heel. Tonight did not mesh well for me. It didn't. This isn't the Edge and Christian, Copeland, Christian, whatever you want to call them, that we're used to seeing. And everything just felt so off about this. It could also be screaming Christian is going to attack Copeland when they're done with this.
I hope not.
Please don't.
Because Christian's an asshole.
Yes.
What is Copeland going to help Christian find his way and become a good guy and nice to everybody again? Because that's the only other thing I fucking see happening. I'm not for this. I don't like it. Didn't like it at the beginning, and I don't. Make me care. That's all I ask you to do. Make me care, because I don't right now.
Well, you know what? I can appreciate you being honest, because I'm not ever going to force you to be like jolly about something just because we like something.
Guys, I am so happy Copeland and Christian are together. Ooh, I can't wait until Christian finds his way and becomes a really good guy and starts liking everybody again and stops pissing on people's, sadness about their fathers being gone and everything. Fuck that. I don't fucking like this. Make me care. Make me care. That's all I ask, AEW. Make me care.
Well, like I said, I'm never going to force you to be jolly
Never be
about something.
disingenuous, because the thing is, that's what we're here.
Yeah.
Here to be
We're
real.
going to be honest.
And here to be
So,
honest.
I can respect it. I definitely can respect it. Phil,
I-
your thoughts?
I could be a lot. Let's put it this way. I'm being honest with you guys. 3/4 of the way. 3/4 of the way. I don't want to give
Three-quarters
a
is still
full.
better than not at all.
Because if I went full on, oh boy. Yeah. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm on Cam's side on this one. I like it. But the thing is, when it comes down to how things go with this, I like the overall start and dynamic so far with everything. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's the whole kind of deal they're going with. I'll take care of your situation, and we'll continue with mine with FTR. But it's a different kind of dynamic than what I thought we were going for as well. And I think that's kind of like the charm of it for me. With Christian Cage just being, the dick of Shield that we all know that he is. And then there's Adam Copeland trying to be like, bro, you don't need to be that way, but I get it because you're an asshole. It works for me right now, but it doesn't, it's not going to last long, I feel, with all of this. So we'll see how it all does shape out. And the Luchasaurus thing, the Kill Switch thing, because I believe they still called him Kill Switch, and I hate that. But
Luchasaurus.
I know he looked like Luchasaurus, but they still called him Kill Switch, and it has it as Kill Switch on the graphics, so it's just crazy.
I heard they call him Luchasaurus.
They called him Kill Switch.
They
but
chanted Luchasaurus.
They chanted Luchasaurus, yes, because that's what we know him as. But it's been a year. But look, I think the whole Luchasaurus aspect Kill Switch thing is great because they went into the detail about how Christian Cage has been completely, just disregarding him in every single aspect and just treating him like a bitch in every single way. So I think it does make a lot of sense for him to be in this match rather than Nick Wayne. And it's going to be a solid tag team match for what it's going to be. But yes, Cope and Christian are going to be tag team champions. by the time All Out is all said and done. I'll say that, because if we do not see new tag team champions with the way that we got things tonight, after all of that, for no reason, then it's just going to be a complete disaster. So we'll see in due time. But I overall like the dynamic so far, but they got to pick it up.
You need legal advice? We'll give you a chair to sit on while we use chairs to concerto your opponents. And if we can't do that, then we'll go down trying. Reach out to Copen Christian Law.
Copen Christian.
That just sounds like a law firm to me. I don't know. It still does.
Copen Christian's Concerto Law Firm.
So, yeah.
We'll post
I don't know.
for 5 seconds or your money back.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
That's great. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree with everything that Phil said. Definitely can see them winning the tag team titles. I hope so. Just because, like I said, I'm ready to see new tag team champions other than the Hurt Syndicate. So yeah, I'm just kind of over them as tag team champions. Next, of course, we went to commercial break. We came back from commercial break. We see Ricochet in the Gates of Agony. Ricochet says the hottest group in AEW. Before he can continue, he gets caught off by MJF. And then they make some sort of agreement. Obviously, for later tonight, we are unaware of that agreement or arrangement. So obviously, again, it's another you scratch your back, I scratch yours type of deal. Moving on from there, we then had our next match, which is our tag team match. It is a finals for these whole tag team tournament that they have been doing the last couple of weeks between FTR and Bro Dito. Of course, it doesn't take long for Brody King to be opened up and bleeding in this match. I don't know why people are not talking about Brody King being the new Jon Moxley. He bleeds most of his matches, I feel like, on live television. Pretty much almost every other week I see him in the ring, he's bleeding. So he's pretty much taken Moxley's spot, I think. Because I haven't seen Moxley opened up on an episode of Dynamite in a while. So once again, Brody King is opened up and just bleeding buckets all over the mat and all over the place. This was a great match. This was a fantastic match. This went the limit. At one point, Bandito, he took his mask from Stokely. I guess Stokely had stolen one of his masks. He actually switches mask mid-match and then is still able to hit a frog splash, which I thought I've never seen that. So I thought that was crazy. He didn't take long either. He switched masks very, very quickly. So again, a mask switch and a frog splash. Didn't see that happening. FTR at one point hit a shatter machine. I thought that was honestly going to be it, which I ultimately wasn't going to like, because it would have been heel versus heel. And it's like, okay, who do you even root for? But Brody King just barely saved this match, breaking up the pin, obviously. And then, we get the announcement that there's 60 seconds left in this match. And then, of course, obviously, this match does go to a time limit draw. Now you have a triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team titles at Forbidden Door. FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate versus Bro Dito. I think they messed this up. It should have just been Bro Dito versus the Hurt Syndicate, but that's what AEW does. An easy layup. They somehow whiff completely, and now they're making this more complicated than it needs to be, turning this into a triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team titles. At Forbidden Door, I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this tag team. If you ask me, this was probably my match of the night. This was a fantastic tag team match between the two of them. Maybe candidate for tag team match of the year for Dynamite. So, get your guys' thoughts on this match. Phil, I'm gonna get your thoughts first.
This made the entire tournament pointless.
Yes,
it did. Look, I love Bro Dito. I do. I think their dynamic is actually really sick when it comes down to Brody King and Bandito being the team. And I think it's really cool. They're coming into their own very well. And FTR, we all know what they're about. So, I mean, that's not really anything to, completely go over step by step in detail. But yeah, they just made this entire tag team tournament number one contenders thing pointless, because you had them go to a time limit draw. It was an awesome match. I love this tag team match. This tag team match is easily going to be going down as one of the best tag team matches all year for AEW in a sense. But you don't go through an entire tournament weeks throughout your television show just to end it on a time limit draw. I don't like that. And the thing is, I would have much rather have seen one of these tag teams, whether it was going to be FTR to do a heel versus heel matchup, or go with the upset and do Bro Dito versus the Hurt Syndicate. Either way, it would have been fine with me. Because honestly, this final was so out of the blue for me when it came down, because I honestly thought it was just going to be Young Bucks and FTR again, because that's what they normally would do. And they went with the curveball. So it was interesting. I loved the 10-team match, but they went way, too overcomplicated. And now we have a triple threat tag team match where we could just see the Hurt Syndicate retain anyway because they don't want to lose. So I hope there's new tag team champions, but I'm not betting on it just yet for some reason right now.
We're gonna have
I mean-
Bandito
I mean-
2 belts.
I mean, based off of what we just talked about with Copeland and Christian, and then possibly going off the tag team titles later this year, probably, I don't know, All Out, Full Gear, whatever. I would say Brodito is just realistically in this match to eat the pin. I would
Yeah.
say FTR walks out new tag team champions, and then we start building the feud between FTR and Copeland and Christian. That makes sense.
If we do see new tag team champions, I know one thing for a fact, and that the Hurt Syndicate are not getting pinned. So it's going to be Brodito, if anything, if we do get new tag team champions in FTR.
If the Hurt Syndicate retain at this point, they're just hurting the tag team division, because that just doesn't make any sense. So, but Mike, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this match and the outcome, and now the complication of the triple threat tag team match for the World Tag Team titles at Forbidden Door.
I mean, the minute they started announcing the time remaining, I was like, they're going time limit. That they were going to make this a triple threat because the Hurt Syndicate have been facing tag teams and just beating them. So let's throw a different challenge in front of them. Let's throw 2 tag teams in front of them. And why not get Bandito? Why not get Bandito in there? The Ring of Honor World Champion, and make him possibly Bandito 2 belts. So this was a good match. Again, once they started saying the time limit thing, I had a feeling they were going time limit to make it a triple threat. So I think ultimately, like you said, Bandito and Brody are going to eat the pin. Hurt Syndicate will probably, they're either going to retain or FTR walks out. It's going to be FTR or Hurt Syndicate. And I know we're going to do our predictions here in a little bit, but spoiler alert, I got the Hurt Syndicate walking out. I got them retaining.
Wouldn't it shock me if they just retained, because
It's not gonna shock
they
me,
don't
dude.
want to lose.
I'm not gonna hold my breath on them losing titles. Really, I'm not.
Nope.
The next thing we got the World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page making his promo, obviously on MJF. But then during the course of this particular promo, he was cut short by Tony Schiavone, who made an announcement that he says that he is in, I believe, what was the parking lot or parking garage or whatever. And there was something bad going to happen. Of course, his attention is directed towards the Jumbotron. Of course, it is MJF with Ricochet in the Gates of Agony, and they have attacked and tied up one Mark Briscoe. Once again, we get this tease of setting someone on fire. I don't know if Tony Khan is just, a pyromaniac or whatever. I don't know what he keeps, why we keep having these segments of teases of people getting lit on fire. We had Hangman a while back with MJF and Hangman and Page on their original feud. The first time we did this, and he got doused in gasoline, and then he was cut off by security. We had Jack Perry back on, I think last year during the course of Blood and Guts, and he got doused in gasoline as well, but not set on fire. So I don't know. I don't know why we keep going back to this gasoline thing. This is the third time now.
Somebody was lit on fire during a match earlier this year.
Yeah,
I think.
that's true. I forgot about that.
I
Somebody
think it
lit
was
on fire.
Jack Perry or something like that.
Yeah, that is very true. I think it was Jack Perry too. But yeah, I don't know what this company's. I don't know what their deal is with just setting people on fire. It's
You
weird.
like fire.
They have this fixation with setting people on fire. It's weird. But yeah, so once again we have the gasoline thing. And then he basically threatens Hangman Page threatens Mark Briscoe to set him on fire. But if he doesn't meet his 3 demands, otherwise Mark Briscoe will be, in his words, Kentucky fried. The first demand, and I had to pause this a couple of times just to be able to get through all of his 3 demands. His first demand is obviously the title can change via DQ. And the second demand is the title can change via countout. And the third demand, he doesn't have to use his contract in order to get his match at Forbidden Door. So there you go. So even if he loses, it really doesn't matter because he does not. He's still going to have his contract intact. And the first person I thought
of Mike.
That was it. The first person I thought of was
No,
Mike, because
Mike.
Mike, I think, all but called this last week. So
He basically
All right.
called it. Yeah.
Whatever.
Look, you call something that AEW logistically and realistically do, and they're doing it. So
I think he heard you. I think that's what it was.
Here's
Tony was
here's
watching.
the thing. Here's the thing is with Mox already getting, and I said, if you were going to do a Mox rematch, why not have it at the next pay-per-view? Why do it at why do it a week after, right? They kind of backed themselves into a corner with doing that. Now it's who takes on Hangman, who faces Hangman for the world title at the next pay-per-view. They had nobody lined up. Closest person lined up was MJF. Closest person. The only thing is he has that contract. And last week, you know me, Cam, I don't like to toot my own horn. I don't.
No,
But
shoot this one
they were
because
going
this
to
works.
find a way to make it to where he didn't have to use that contract. Whether it was the route that they took tonight or like a special contract signed to where, hey, I signed the match contract, not my contract to use on the world title.
They had Mark Briscoe be the pawn in all of it, and that's what made it worked.
There it is. They found a way. Just
Now,
had a feeling they were going to.
Now,
Because-
the question for the both of you is that when he actually does try to cash this thing in, because I still don't see Hangman losing.
No.
Does that cash in be successful?
See, now when we make our predictions tonight,
Sorry,
just wait.
I know.
Just wait until I throw out a predicament to you guys. And I'm going to say this right now. It's with MJF walking out of Forbidden Door with the world title.
See, I've got something too, and I'm gonna save it for predictions.
Yeah.
But it's not with him walking out at Forbidden Door with the title. So I'll save it. I'll save my curveball that I got coming. So
That contract is going to be very lucrative now that it's not going to be cashed in on for Forbidden
Absolutely.
Door.
yeah. So we'll definitely have to see what happens there. Afterwards, we of course go to break, come back to break. Hangman obviously rushes to the back to find MJF and obviously save Mark Briscoe. Nails Ricochet in the back with a steel chair. Basically, schoolyard bullies him, presses him up against the wall, asking where's Max. Max obviously had left the building, hightailed it out of there, just like a good old cowardly heel does. So again, like I said, not much realistically added to this match. I think it's gonna be a great match. Obviously, with the stipulation of not using his contract, that's interesting, and it's interesting to see how that plays out through the course of the next couple of months or whatever, the next couple of pay-per-views that we got coming up. Other than that, not much realistically added to the overall match. Gentlemen, we have reached the main event, which didn't feel like a main event at all, really. But the main event, which was Mercedes Moné and Athena versus Alex Windsor and Toni Storm. These four women have their respective championship matches against each other at Forbidden Door. Looking forward to both of those matches. Those should be pretty decent matches. This was just boring. This felt like this should have been probably the second match of the night. It didn't feel like a main event. It never felt like it realistically got started. It just was just bland. There's a point in the match, and I talk about this pretty much every week with tag team matches and multi-man matches and whatnot have you. The embarrassing ending of just the whole who's legal thing is just annoying. And Alex Windsor, she has Mercedes Moné in a submission hold. She's tapping out, but it doesn't matter because Mercedes Moné is not the legal person. Then there's that whole pause in the middle where she's like arguing with Aubrey, and it's like awkward, And then Athena, she flies out of the sky with an O face on Alex Windsor. 1, 2, 3 matches over. The heels win this match. I didn't feel anything going into this match. I didn't feel anything towards the end of this match. Just bland. It didn't feel like a main event to me. And this AEW ends in a whimper. So there you have it. That's AEW. But I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this tag team main event. Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
They made Alex Windsor look like a complete dumbass with everything that was going on with, who's legal, who's not legal, and then all of a sudden getting hit with the O-face by Athena to get pinned. This tag team match was just not it for me. It was solid for what it was. I mean, you got some solid stuff between these four ladies. It is what it is. But, you know, what matters is the matches at Forbidden Door. That's it. I get what you guys are trying to do here. You're doing two stories in one. You're getting everybody involved. And I like that for the sake of, getting more women involved on the show and just doing the thing that you need to do in order to build for these things. But this was not a main event match to me. I would have been fine with this kicking off the show and then just, forgetting about it. That 30-minute tag team match that you had, though it's for, a tag team championship type storyline or whatever. That was like, in terms of like what you were doing here, looking at the lineup, the only thing that was really technically on the line in this show was to get that shot at tag team titles.
Yeah.
That was the basically most important thing on your show that night in terms of like stipulations and what it means for, but yeah, the tag team match is fine. The matches for the ladies are going to be okay at Forbidden Door. They always deliver when it comes down to that, but this was not a main event to me.
Yeah, I definitely can agree. It just didn't feel like a main event. Mike, your thoughts?
I didn't watch it. Turned it off. Have no thoughts. I cared about it earlier in the day, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck this. This show just was not good for me, and I figured I would get a head start on getting us ready for tonight, so I didn't watch the main event.
That's fair. Honestly, you didn't miss anything.
Miss much.
But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for 8/20/2025 for AEW Dynamite for the go home show for Forbidden Door. Now we are going to transition into our Forbidden Door predictions. I don't think I'm going in any particular order. For right now, they could add more matches. There are 9 matches on this card.
Add 5 for the pre-show.
Probably. I'll go with. I'll start with the women's world championship match: Toni Storm versus Athena. Who do we got? I'm going to start with Mike.
Athena cashing in her contract. And that's the thing. That was my big focus about MJF too, is because you're having both. You're having both of your, contracted people cashing in on the same night. That doesn't make sense to me. That's why I had this whole thought about MJF and his contract, right? And Athena was cashing hers in.
That makes so much more sense now that I think about it.
I just don't see Athena being the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion right now. I don't see them putting the women's world title on her. I don't, at least not right now. Is she gaining momentum to possibly be in that picture in the future? Yes, she is. She has done great these past couple weeks, but I do not see Toni Storm ultimately dropping the title to Athena. So I'm going with Toni Storm to retain.
I think I'll go with Toni Storm as well. Again, we say it pretty much every week. We give her flowers. She's the best thing going right now in the women's division. She's probably the best thing going on right now in AEW. I don't see her losing the championship anytime soon. Maybe for the remainder of 2025. Maybe in 2026 she loses the championship to somebody. I don't know. But they definitely got to do a better job at building up somebody. I don't necessarily want to keep. It's the same thing I said for Mercedes. I don't want to keep seeing them, continuously try to bring in somebody from CMLL and New Japan. And no, it's got to be somebody that you have that's already, either homegrown or somebody that you have on their roster. They got a stacked roster. Again, we say that all the time too. They got Donna Purrazzo in their works. They got, Taya Valkyrie. Like, we can build up somebody that can be a realistic threat and contender towards Toni Storm. Because like I said, as great as Toni Storm is, at some point I feel like she's going to hit a bit of a roadblock to where she's beaten everybody. There's really nobody else left to beat because they haven't, for a number of reasons. Maybe because they haven't built up anybody new, or like I said, because she's really just beaten everybody that there is, realistic challengers in that locker room. And again, as great as she is, she can't realistically hold the championship forever. I mean, she's going to have to drop the championship to somebody else, and somebody else is going to have to usher in a new era for the women's division, and we get another reign for the women's division. Somebody's really, carrying the torch for the women in AEW. So, but I'm going for Toni Storm. I don't think it's her time to drop a championship right now. Athena, as Mike said, to your point, I definitely see her building up steam. It's great and refreshing to finally see her on Dynamite and getting into something, because I don't think she's been involved in anything with AEW. Pretty much since coming to the company, she's been on Collision, and she's been on mainly Ring of Honor. So it's just refreshing, and it's nice to see someone of her talent really getting the opportunity, to say the least. But Phil, I'm gonna get your thoughts or your prediction on who will win, Toni Storm or Athena.
Call me delusional. I'm going with Athena.
You're delusional.
You're not gonna find any more. You're not gonna find anybody more ready to be like a centerpiece of the AEW Women's Division other than Athena, with Toni Storm included in that, because obviously Toni Storm is an ace in this division. Look, Athena has been ready to be on AEW programming for 980 something days, and that's how long she's been Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. So, look, it's just time. It's just time to keep her on AEW programming. The feud is hot, with everything, and she is so red hot with the audience right now. You gotta keep the momentum going with Athena. You have to. And the thing is, I understand that she would be a double champion at that point, but that is what Death Before Dishonor is for, which is the reason why I kind of wanted Death Before Dishonor to take that title away from Athena first, so that she can cash in it all out and win the championship there. But I feel like the cash in for this time, when it comes down to the women's championship side of things, there's a reason why they're doing it so early, I feel, which is the reason why I think Athena should win out of this thing. Tony's going to be fine. Tony is the centerpiece of the women's division, no matter what, if she has a championship or if she doesn't. So I'm going with Athena. I'm delusional as hell, and I get that, but it's just time. It's just time for Athena.
Double champion. That's a thing of the past in AEW. Mercedes is what, Octo champion?
That's what I'm saying. So it's not that out of the realm
Yeah.
of possibility. So heck, it is what it is.
The next match we're gonna get our predictions on is Kazuchika Okada putting up his unified championship against Swerve Strickland. I'll go first on this one. Like I said, not really a whole lot to talk about in terms of storyline. You had a couple of promos from Swerve Strickland. They were
did
okay.
Nothing tonight for that.
They did nothing tonight. That's a good point. Neither one of them was on the show tonight, so there was really no more hype added into this match. I think this is just a throwaway, honestly, before we get Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega again for the Unified Championship, because I don't think that's over. I really don't. I just think it's on hold for right now. So this is really just the speed bump, I think, to get back to Kenny Omega. But I think Kazuchika Okada is retaining the Unified Championship. I think this will be a great match, to say the least. It might be the sleeper on the card, but I don't see Okada dropping the championship so soon. Phil, I'm gonna get your thoughts.
Yeah, it's Okada. I love Swerve Strickland. I think this match is going to be great. It's only the second time that they've ever faced against each other, but this is kind of just a bridge to possibly get to, I believe, the 6th match in the rivalry between Omega and Okada. So, it's just a bridge. Okada's going to retain. Going to be a good match, and we'll see where Swerve goes from here, because that's really kind of the key for me.
Yeah,
because we didn't see legitimately anything tonight in terms of this. We only saw the graphic. Yeah. That's the extent that they went. So, yeah, Okada retains.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going Okada.
That's it.
That's it. You guys pretty much said everything. This is a roadblock match. Okada's winning. We're ultimately going to get to Kenny and Okada. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
The next match we pretty much just got done talking about, essentially. But the three-way tag elimination match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. I guess
I didn't know it was elimination. I did not know that.
Interesting. So it's elimination as well. So again, we got the Hurt Syndicate, the reigning AEW World Tag Team Champions, taking on Brodito and FTR. Again, I'm not going to hold my breath and say that Hurt Syndicate are going to lose these tag team titles. So a part of me wants to say that they're walking out and retaining the championships, but I'm going to go with FTR. I think FTR wins these tag team titles, and they walk out with the become the new tag team champion. So we'll definitely have to see there. Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say FTR, but I got to say Hurt Syndicate. I mean, I get that this is an elimination match, but they're going to find a way to make this basically both teams getting eliminated at the same time. Like one pinfall happens. How I see it happening is one of the guys from FTR and one of the two guys from Brodito is down on the mat, and Sheldon pins one, Bobby pins the other, and the ref does the double pin thing, and Hurt Syndicate wins. I think, honestly, we're going to get a reveal of another member of the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know who, but I think we're going to get another member of the Hurt Syndicate because the MJF thing didn't work out. They tried to make it work to add on another member, and it just didn't work. I could see another member coming in and being a part of the Hurt Syndicate to help them out.
It's and they walk out. Al Snow.
Hey, you never know. It could be Al Snow. It could be Omos. It could be Hornswoggle. It could be Cedric. No, not Cedric. Cedric's in TNA. So, TNA. Yeah, you
Great
just never know who. You never know who it could be, but I see the Hurt Syndicate walking out as tag champs.
Phil?
The fact they made this elimination makes me say it's gonna be Hurt Syndicate, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Hurt Syndicate. I am praying for FTR so that we can get new tag team champions, but it's elimination. Hurt Syndicate are gonna eliminate both these guys, if not one, if not at least one of them, so that they can just retain these tag team titles. If they did not do elimination, there'd be a sliver of hope.
But now there's no
for
hope.
New tag team champions, but I mean, and I even said it prior. I mean, I know we're not even talking about the whole Edge and Christian tag team match, but I mean, like, I said once before that it doesn't technically need the tag team titles because of how big it could possibly look, but whether it's for the tag team titles or not, that's a mute point at this point. Hurt Syndicate are retaining these tag team titles, and they just refuse to lose.
Yeah. I can see that definitely. The elimination factor definitely is a bit scary, I would say so. The next match, though, we have a fatal four-way for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor versus, I can't even pronounce that name, versus Bozilla. I'm taking
Persephone, yeah.
Persephone.
I'm taking Mercedes to retain. I don't see her dropping the championship to either of them, honestly. I mean, if she would drop the championship to somebody who's not even, contracted to AEW, would make even less sense. Alex Windsor, I guess she would be a good.
It would be awesome for her, champion. But too early.
It'd be great for her. It definitely is too early. I don't know. I don't know who Mercedes could potentially drop the championship to eventually, but right now I don't see her dropping the championship. So I'm taking Mercedes to retain. Phil, your thoughts?
This is a bridge just to get to whatever is next for Mercedes. She's retaining.
Mike?
I wouldn't necessarily call this a bridge. I mean, she's been having some issues with Toni Storm and Alex Windsor. I mean, this is a fatal four-way. I mean, Forbidden Door was ultimately created to bring other companies in to work with AEW, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're bringing in two people from other companies to work in this match. They're giving them an opportunity. I think we can actually see Alex Windsor get another shot at this championship somewhere down the road, maybe at All Out, maybe at, Full Gear.
I can agree
Who
there.
knows?
I can agree there.
She could end up getting a title shot on Dynamite because we have major title matches on Dynamite. So I wouldn't even call this a bridge. I would call this just a match for Mercedes to put the title on the line with Alex Windsor, her formidable challenger, included in the match, who she's ultimately going to lose this title to, because Mercedes at some point is going to be the one to win the women's world title. She's just got to drop all the other championships first.
It's going to take years for that to happen at this point, but no, I can see it.
No, it's not going to take years.
It's just...
She could drop all those championships within 2 weeks. With the different companies that she's involved in with holding championships, if the stars were aligned to where there was events with all of those companies in within a 2-3 week span of time, she can lose those belts within 2 or 3 weeks. Years? No, not even a year.
I was being sarcastic with that, but yeah, I get it. But they're not doing it, man.
No. Next match we have is for the TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher taking on Takahashi. Again, this is a no-brainer. I think Kyle Fletcher retains the championship. I'm hoping for a good match. It's gonna elevate the TNT Championship, I think, and make that title mean something again. So we'll see. I'm hoping for a really good reign out of Kyle Fletcher, because the TNT Championship needs it, because the TNT title hasn't meant a lick of beans in a long time. Mike, your pick.
Yeah, I'm going Kyle Fletcher. It's again Forbidden Door again with bringing other people in from other companies. Tony Khan. That's the thing, is WWE is starting to not be afraid, along with TNA, to not let each other hold each other's championships. Tony Khan has an issue with letting other people hold his championships. So Kyle Fletcher, by all means, would not be dropping this championship. So yeah, I'm going Kyle Fletcher.
Phil?
Yeah, it's Kyle Fletcher. I'm really looking forward to see what Takahashi can do with Kyle. I think this is honestly going to be really solid for what it's going to be. I like Takahashi's work, and I think this is going to be an actual, this is a big match for him, realistically, if you want to just take a look at the New Japan side of things for him. But I mean, it's Kyle Fletcher retaining all day, so it is what it is.
Fair enough. Next match is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. putting his championship on the line against none other than Nigel McGuinness. Now, when it was being announced as his mystery opponent, essentially before his opponent got announced as being Nigel, I was kind of hoping that this was going to be Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. I think would have been amazing. But of course, the injury to Will Ospreay that I didn't see coming, him not being cleared and all that jazz, I did not see coming. So I don't really know how I feel about Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness, but it might be better than what I'm expecting it to be. Obviously, I expect Zack Sabre Jr. to retain the championship. Again, I love Zack Sabre Jr.'s work. The best technical wrestler probably on this planet right now, Zack Sabre Jr. I haven't seen a bad match from him yet. So this might be another sleeper on the match, but I'm expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Phil, your pick.
Yeah, I got Zach. It's gonna actually be a really cool match to see between Zach and Nigel. I'm looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's really, unless I watch Collision, there's not much for me going through this thing. This is just gonna be a fun match for me to watch.
Yeah.
At that point, that's it. But yeah, it's good to see Zach on an AEW program again, because I like Zack Sabre Jr. I think he actually brings a lot, especially to AEW, but it's just going to be him retaining for me.
Mike?
If I had to pick a match off of this whole card to sit here and wonder if the title's going to change hands or not, it would be this one. This is probably the one match, the one championship match on this card that you could sit here and say, who's going to win this match? Who's going to walk out as champion? Is it a little obvious that Zack Sabre Jr. is probably going to walk out as champion? Yes. But just think of it this way. We went into 2025 without the thought or whimmer of Nigel McGuinness even competing again, ever. Yeah. And now he is. He's in full-fledged matches, full-fledged storylines. So when you look at this match, it's like, is there a chance Nigel can walk out as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion? Yeah, there is. But I'm still going to go with Zack Sabre Jr. So.
Fair enough. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus Kill Switch and Kip Sabian. I'm going with Copeland.
Oh, I wonder who's winning that one. And I wonder who's taking the pin. Sorry, Kip.
This is probably the no-brainer here. Obviously, I'm going with Copeland and Christian Cage to win this match.
Same.
So yeah,
same.
I won't be surprised. You might see FTR twice on this show. I won't be surprised if FTR attacks him after the match. So
They
set up that feud. So
I think pending on where the World Tag Team title match is, it's all about the placement. If their tag team title match is like earlier in the night, and whether they win the World Tag titles or not, then I can see them coming out. But if the tag team title match is after this one, I don't see FTR coming out on this
probably
one.
not.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense. Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's Cope and Christian.
Yeah,
I mean, who else? It's probably going to be Kip taking the pin. Sorry, Kip. I actually like you a lot, but it is what it is. I'm just honestly kind of wondering. He looks in amazing shape. Luchasaurus, Kill Switch, whatever you want to call him.
He's freaking jacked.
He's just insanely jacked. So like he looks great. I'm just ready to see him actually in the ring and see if like he actually is able to, continue again. Because it's been a year. It's been well over a year since we've seen the guy. So he looks incredible. Just gotta see him perform when the lights are the brightest. So we'll see. But yeah, it's Cope and Christian all day.
Mike?
I said Cope and Christian.
Oh, okay.
We're like, who else is this gonna be?
What else haven't I covered yet? Okay, the lights out steel cage match. Of course, you have Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay versus the Death Riders in a lights out steel cage match. I don't know. I'm taking the baby faces, I guess, to win this match. Again, I'm still curious to see how this match is going to play out. It's basically blood and guts without calling it blood and guts. I don't know if it's elimination style. I don't know if it's they're going to come out one after the other, or they're all going to start the match at the same time. I have no idea. So I'm very curious to see how this match plays out. Mike, your thoughts?
Maybe they're not doing blood and guts this year. Maybe this is blood and guts.
Yeah, maybe this is just their substitute.
Because you got to think blood and guts would have happened already.
Yeah.
We would have gotten blood and guts already. So maybe this is blood and guts without calling it blood and guts. It's just a lights out steel cage match with teams. I mean, I'm going with the baby faces. Again, I think the Death Riders need to lose. I think Mox needs to go away. At least him. If not just him, the whole group can go away for a while. But I'm going with Ospreay's team. It would not make sense to have the Death Riders go on this massive losing streak these past couple weeks, only for them to go into this match and fucking win. Would not make sense at all.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Phil?
It's the babyface team for me. Mike said it. They wouldn't go through all this trouble realistically just to have them lose. I mean, especially with the whole Will Ospreay situation and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that they're going to focus on that a lot, by the way. So get prepared for that. But yeah, it's just a babyface team to win this thing. And I like your guys' thoughts on like this basically just being the substitute for blood and guts and that whole entire situation, because you're right, we would have definitely had that already, and it is what it is. But I'm just hoping that at the end of all of this, I just don't want to see the Death Riders anymore, but I know they're going to be on my TV one way or another.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And now the main event, I would assume.
Yeah.
With Hangman Adam Page taking on Maxwell Jacob Freeman for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The title can change hands via DQ and countout. Phil, I'm going to start with you first.
I'm going Hangman. And I'm having him walk out of Forbidden Door with the championship. I don't think there's going to be any shenanigans with the contract or anything, but you could think of this as like the main event for Forbidden Door, but they put a lot of stock on that lights out steel cage match, so I would not be technically too shocked if that were the main event. But it's going to be a great match. There's definitely going to be some teases with that contract, but I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon with this whole entire thing. But Hangman gets out of there with the title for me.
Okay. Mike?
I'm going to look something up real quick because I just want to make sense with what I'm going to say. Give me a second here. Okay. This is going to make sense now. So MJF is getting his title match without the contract being up for grabs. I mean, this is the only real match that I have saying that I think the title is going to change hands. Do I see Hangman winning the initial match? Yes. But MJF still has the contract in play. Do I think the contract will get cashed in? Yes. After the match. I think somebody can come out and attack Hangman post-match. Probably thinking, who would attack Hangman? Because there's nobody else in the picture. There is a man who has been out of the picture for a very long time, and he used to associate himself with MJF. And I could see them associating with each other again because we've seen little like snippets of it in the past of them communicating again. And that is one Wardlow.
God dang it. You stole my whole thought that I was going to go with.
Wardlow comes out and attacks Hangman Adam Page after the match, takes him out. MJF cashes in, and yet again we get MJF and Wardlow teaming up, and MJF gets the Triple B back. Walks out of Forbidden Door with the champion.
Damn it, dude. Okay. All right.
You want to piggyback, Cam?
Go
No.
ahead, bro.
My thought process
just
is
rip my heart out even more.
my thought process is the same, but not at Forbidden Door. I think Hangman retains at Forbidden Door.
Okay.
But then MJF uses his contract at All Out. And then again, the rematch, whatever, They can add whatever stipulation, that doesn't matter, right? I would think, at some point during that match, ref gets knocked out, whatever. And then what you had said. Somebody comes back, returns, who used to be paired with MJF, and it's one Wardlow. Wardlow comes out and helps MJF win back the Triple B. And I think MJF walks out of All Out with the World Heavyweight Championship. Then Forbidden Door, though, I'm going with Hangman Adam Page to retain. So
I'd be at least fine with it all out. I'd be at least fine with that. I would be.
Forbidden Door.
But until I legitimately see Wardlow face to face on my television screens, I just it makes sense what you guys say. It does. It does. I just want to preface that because it definitely does. But the man has been out for God knows how long. He's been out for 3 years at this point, it seems like.
Yeah.
Obviously exaggerating. Because I realistically don't know. I realistically don't know when the last time we saw him was. But it makes total sense with what you guys are saying. And bringing back the pairing, it could work, especially for this time around again. But it's been so far gone from my memory. It's not gone from my memory that they were together. It's just Wardlow on AEW programming has been so far gone from my memory that until I legitimately see it, I'm not believing it just yet.
Fair.
That's just the only thing with me. It makes total sense with what you guys said. Everything that you guys said, whether it happens at Forbidden Door or All Out, it makes total sense for me. It's just going to have to be seen in order for me to believe it.
So Wardlow has been out with an injury since late 2023. And since he was spotted backstage at AEW Revolution back in March, and he is medically cleared to compete.
Let's go.
They're just biding their time to get this man back on television. And if it does happen, whether it happens at Forbidden Door or All Out, I'm fine with it. The thing is, having MJF back on AEW programming with the Triple B, with the championship, I'm going to love all of that because that's awesome. Because that's where he should be, in the world title scene with all of that. But can I just get through one title defense, one pay-per-view?
You got
That's
through
all
a
I
title
ask. You
defense.
can
He
do it at All
defended
Out.
against Moxley. He beat Moxley. That was a title defense.
That's true.
That was fucking dynamite. I'm talking about one pay-per-view.
Still
One
title
pay-per-view.
defense.
That's all I ask. You can do it at All Out. Everything makes sense. You can do it. I'm good with that. I'm game.
if he technically wins the initial match at Forbidden
Okay,
Door
no,
and it
I'm
gets
not doing
cashed in
fucking
on,
semantics with you. I'm not doing fucking semantics with you. No, I'm
it is
not
a
fucking doing that
successful
shit.
defense at a pay-per-view.
I'm not fucking doing semantics with you on that bullshit. No, I'm saying out of the night. So fuck you, Mike. I want him out of Forbidden Door. Your fucking evil laugh.
Oh yeah.
Ridiculous. But you guys know what I mean, and you just try to do these little semantics just to get me like this. You know what? Screw you.
I mean, you're the one that's get me through a pay-per-view day. Well, if he successfully defends at Forbidden Door, he technically does successfully defend at a pay-per-view.
You guys know what I mean. Just yeah. I'm one side. One side.
Oh,
Like,
Just saying.
It legitimately can happen. It realistically can. And I agree with you guys on all fronts with
Damn, skip it.
with your theory. We'll just see how it all plays out.
Well, we definitely have to see whether Wardlow comes back at Forbidden Door or All Out. We'll definitely see. But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for 8/20/2025. Now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff. _. I released a video on Karrion Kross the other day. It's doing solid for what it was for YouTube's sake, for my channel at least. But yeah, if you guys can go support that would be greatly appreciated. I'm doing daily stuff on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all that stuff, so stay tuned for all of the content there. I'm probably going to be doing some AEW content tomorrow because it is late and I just want to relax for the night. But yeah, follow me on all those social media platforms. You're going to be able to find me one way or another.
Mike?
Bam. Metal Mike 714 all over Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch. Metal Mike 714. Got the Huddle Hub podcast coming up on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub podcast. Me and John are going over every AFC division in our Spotlight segment. We might be starting our new segment this week called the Collector's Corner, to where we are doing a card break. If not, that's next week when we do our full-on predictions for the 2025 NFL season. So, yeah, and then me and Cam on the Table Spot Monday night right here, and then back here on the Boom on Wednesdays.
As for moi, you can find me right here every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen talking about some AEW Dynamite. The next time you will see us, it will be the fallout from AEW Forbidden Door. So stay tuned with that. Of course, we'll be back next Monday with me and Mike for another edition of the Table Spot after Monday Night Raw. Hopefully, Monday Night Raw is not a stinker like it has been the last 2 weeks. We will be live regardless for that. So stay tuned with that. Obviously, you can find me on all of my socials. They're there on the bottom. And as I always say at the end of every stream, love and appreciate all you guys come by, check out the stream today. And as I always say, love, peace, prosperity, and we are out.
We'll be right back.